to experience the divine in our lives, to actually experience the presence of the divine. In essence, it's to know, because you were created to know. ما خلقت الإنس والجن إلا ليعبدون أي ليعرفون كما قال ابن عباس. To know me. And to know him is to love him, and to love him is to worship him. Sincerity in your God-directedness. It's sincerity in your inner direction towards your Lord. That you will go back to the divine presence from whence you came. Plato believed that what this world was an arena to remember what we already knew in the world of archetypes. Before we came into this world, we knew truths. And this world, we enter into forgetfulness. And what we have to do in this world is wake up to what we already knew. And this is the allegory of the cave, of realizing that there's a journey to be made. We have to get out of the shadow show, of the illusion that we were actually created for mushahada. We're created for witnessing. Like our existence is there to witness the divine. And that's why the essence of the human being is shahada, which means witnessing. And that is what we do. We abstract. This is the incredible gift that God has given human beings, is the ability to symbolize, to abstract, to understand abstraction, signs. We are by our nature sign makers and sign readers. The single most important thing that we have, and the gift that we've been given, is not so much reasoning, but it is simple apprehension, it's comprehension, it's understanding. And that comes from our ability to abstract. And abstraction is a uniquely human thing. Animals, as far as we know, do not abstract, whereas the humans have the ability to abstract. And that ability is what enables you to abstract the divine from the material world. And that's why the material world is the greatest sign of God. People that are looking for proofs for the divine, the proof is all around them. It's right in front of them. And that's why that people that deny God are called blind in the Quran. It's a profound spiritual blindness to deny that there is a reality behind this that is infinite, that is conscious, that it has knowledge, it has will, and it has being. Whether it's a personal God that we find in the Abrahamic faith, or whether it's an impersonal God that is more in the Eastern traditions. Because Buddhists pray, Hindus pray, they have a different concept. It's a different concept of reality, of the divine. But they still have an understanding that there is transcendent being, that there is reality beyond this. And that is the fitra nature of humans. The Abrahamic expression of that is through the personal God.
What they are saying is that everything that exists in the universe, in the visible world, and everything that exists is a result of blind, random, dead, physical stuff. That's been molecules and atoms that have been whizzing around for millions and millions and millions of years, randomly colliding into each other. They don't have a mind, they're not conscious, they don't have a power behind them. It's just random physical stuff colliding into each other over millions and millions of years, which have resulted in everything we see in existence today. Why should I wake up in the morning and brush my teeth and go to work if I'm just going to die? If that's my end, why should I do anything? Why? According to them, you're an accident, you die, and when you die, you become worm's meat. So what's the difference between having someone who saves millions of lives and someone who takes millions of lives? The end is the same. No ultimate justice. If you are an accident, if you are just a result of random blind physical processes without any creator, then there is no purpose in life.
Without opening that door over there, can anyone tell me what's behind that door? The one over there. There could be a big green hairy monster there perhaps. Well, maybe not, you know. But actually all I'm really trying to do is, although our intellect is hugely important, that in order to understand God, in order to understand religion, we have to use our intellect. And there may be other ways, but we would probably both of us argue that the intellect is one of the most important tools that we have. But your intellect has a limit. And I was demonstrating there the limit of your intellect. When it comes to something that is unseen, when it comes to the unseen, all you can do in reality is guess. You could take an educated guess. But I want to up the ante a bit here. And I want to propose to you something that I'd like you to think about. Imagine that you really need to know what is behind that door. In fact, let me suggest to you as a thought experiment for this evening that knowing what is behind that door is absolutely essential to your survival. Knowing what is behind that door is essential to your survival, and you have a limited amount of time in order to decide what is behind that door. You can't open the door. You're not allowed to open the door, but you have to come to a decision. If your decision is not right, it is going to affect your life in a most horrific way that you possibly can't even truly comprehend. That's my thought experiment. And imagine there are 5 or 6 people, or maybe more, competing for your attention, trying to persuade you that they can actually tell you what is behind that door. One of them may even be trying to persuade you that there is nothing behind the door. There is no door. The door is an illusion. There may be someone trying to convince you of that. There may be different people who are trying to convince you what is behind the door for various different reasons. But amongst those people, there is one who is going to be able to tell you the truth. I'm actually really trying to give you an example, as probably you might be aware, of different religions in the world. Often people present this argument. Okay, it makes sense that there's a God. It's logical, it's rational. Is that this universe has an intelligent, powerful creator. And that there rationally could only be one intelligent, powerful creator who is transcendent, who is different from this universe. So the creator of the universe is different from the universe. But that's pretty much the limits of what we can understand through reason. Now again, how can we know the answer? How can we know the answer? From where can we know the answer? Philosophy here really lets us down. And all ultimately we have is conjecture. And in Arabic it's called dhann, conjecture. Well, maybe this. And obviously there are some good guesses we can take. But how do we achieve certainty? This is the question. How do we achieve certainty? From where can we get certainty? How can we be sure? Well, I would propose that the only way you can truly be sure, the only way you can truly be certain as to what is the purpose of your life, what is the reason for your existence, is when the one who gave you life and the one who gave you existence tells you. It's the only way you can be sure. The only way you can be certain is when God tells you, I created you for this reason. Everything else is guesswork. Everything else is speculation. Why is there suffering? Why do these things exist? Well, again, the only way you can be certain is when the one who created this universe and created this world and allowed these things to happen explains to us, this is why, this is the reason why. It's because of A, B, C. But I'm sure in the minds of everybody here, it begs the question. All of this begs another question. Which guy am I going to trust? I need to know. You need to know what's behind that door. You need to know. It's very important. I mean, let's take the options. Option 1, right? It's pretty much shared by the 3 monotheistic religions. Option 1 is you are going to die, and when you die, at some stage, there will be a day of judgment. We will be recreated, or in some traditions, your soul will be brought before God and you will be judged. You will be asked about every single thing that you have done, as the Quran describes it. Every atom's weight of good and every atom's weight of evil, you will be asked about it. The tradition is pretty common. Now I told you what is behind the door is pretty important. And you've got a limited time to find out. The other alternative, of course, is suggested that you will be reincarnated. It may seem less compelling, but it's still pretty serious. I mean, I don't think I would like to be reincarnated as a cockroach or a rat or a donkey. I don't know, it depends where I was, a cockroach or a rat or a donkey, I suppose. I mean, if I was a dog in my mum's house, I might be quite happy. Okay, but still, I don't think so. But seriously, even if you believe in reincarnation, well, how do you know? How do we know? But it's a possibility that's being suggested, or is there nothing? Do you just dissipate as energy into the universe? How do you know? You've got different people making competing claims. How are you going to sort one from the other? And what do? What criterion? You know, this is a thing I would like to know. What criterion are you going to use? The Quran tells us that throughout history, God, the Creator, has sent messengers. This is what Muslims believe. That throughout history, throughout the human history, God has chosen individuals from amongst the human beings to remind the human beings of the things that we have been discussing here tonight, not only about the existence of God, of course, but also about our relationship with God, about the purpose of our life, about the reasons why God lets things happen to us and how we are supposed to deal with all of that. And also about the reality of the life to come. So this is what we believe. Muslims believe that God has chosen human beings to convey that message. So we believe this is the way that God has revealed knowledge about himself. He has explained to us the purpose of our life, how we should fulfill that created purpose, and the reason why things happen the way they do. That's why God has sent throughout the ages messengers to remind human beings, to tell them and inform them about this information. And we believe that those messengers have been given signs. Is that there are signs. There are things that would indicate to you whether that person is speaking the truth or not. And that's exactly what we believe that God has given to his messengers. God has given to his messengers. Right? He has given them signs. They were given things that when a person sees them and they study them and they look at them, they know that these are indications that that person must be speaking the truth, and they must be truly what they claim to be. There is, of course, another possibility. The other possibility is that what has been taught to you is not true. And the things that you claim he said, he never actually said.